I heard her say it.
Okay, so it's about to live stream.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's in, wow.
Okay.
Just
So it says it's okay. Let me figure out how to turn off the sound on the other one.
Should we introduce ourselves now that we are on the live stream?
Hey everybody. Yes, hold on. Hi everybody. My name is Nyemade, that African butterfly, and I am the host of Bold, Black, and Addicted to Bravo, because I am bold, black, and addicted to Bravo. Hey everybody. I hear someone saying, there you go.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm so excited that this is my first YouTube live. I go live sometimes for other things on Instagram all the time, but I've never done a YouTube live. So it's my first one. And I brought some awesome friends and comment. Where'd Dan go? I just realized we lost Dan. I brought some friends and commentators on because Bravo has been crazy this week. So we want to talk about it. I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves. Nela, I'll start with you.
I'm sorry about that. Hi, my name is Nela, and I'm your friendly neighborhood big sister. I read tarot cards every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Hawaii time. So come by and get read for filth, because I'm not a light and love kind of bitch. But by day, I'm a business consultant that supports low-income women who want to realize their goals and visions. So just all around, just happy and thrilled to be here.
Oh, I guess I'm next. Sorry about it. Okay, so hey everybody. I'm Philly Diva, aka Kristen Dion. You might have caught me on Instagram. I have my YouTube, The Philly Diva, and you might have seen my sis, Elle, Housewives and Chit Chat, on my TikTok, because she's an angel and knows that I suck at TikTok, and I was sick. So for you guys who are new to my page and new to my TikTok, just know we are not the same person, but we are the same person. That is my sis, and I will straight Katie somebody for her.
And will. And with that, I'm Elle, Housewives and Chit Chat. Sometimes you see me on Philly Diva's page because, as she said, that's my good sis for sure. Housewives and Chit Chat for all things Bravo commentating, more so on the housewife side, but I just watch way too much TV and I like to chit chat with y'all about it. So, and I just recently hit 7,000 on TikTok. So thank you guys for talking to me about the housewives. Like, duh.
I don't know the order of pictures, so I'm going to go. My name's Lauren. You can find me on Instagram. It's LJ4321, or on TikTok, it's Miss Lady Low. I have a regular job, but my real life and my soul deep down is bravotv. So I also do, in case you missed it, with the Queen, Nyemade, once a month for monthly breakdowns of everything going on. And I cannot wait to talk about everything that we're going to talk about.
Hey. All right. So then, Stephanie, you're next.
Buongiorno. Oh, I'm sorry.
There's two
two Stephanies. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Wait, which Stephanie were you talking about?
Well, you're talking right now, so you.
Raquel.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, all right. So maybe I should do my nickname. So I am Stephanie. I'm host of the Book of Minutes podcast. I talk about a litany of things because I have a weekly topical podcast, but I be loving Bravo and I be loving mess. So I be talking about all the things. So you can find me at Mocha Minutes, all of the handles, all the same place, except on Twitter. You can, well, I can know, same on Twitter. I have a personal Twitter, Sunday Talk that. Do not look at my likes, judge your mother, okay? Thank you so much.
Yo, I love it.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie from Steph and Key TV. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok, and I sometimes post, but I mostly just follow all of these lovely people on here.
Oh, I guess
Oh, it is on. Okay. Guess that leaves me. I'm no one. I'm Keisha. I'm in everyone's comments usually. I don't have a Bravo page or anything. I'm just a Instagrammer. I'm actually a photographer, freelance photographer. So Chocolate Kesh, Kesh.
You're a wonderful artist.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that this morning. I'm also
I follow her. She's a wonderful artist.
Thank you. Because I am recovering from a surgery from last year, so I'm like not shooting as much. So I've been having a lot of time reading and watching Bravo shows. I didn't watch Vanderpumprules until last year, and I still never liked Stassi. I'm not religious, but I bought my Bible to pray on. And we're gonna have a good time. I'm so excited to get into this because I've been sick.
Yes, I'm excited to get into it. By the way, everybody is somebody, not just people with podcasts and shows, which is why I purposely reach out to people I see leaving good comments in the comment section. I reach out to them and ask if they want to join because their opinions are just as important too. So if you're watching this and you ever want to join, you don't have to have a podcast or a TikTok or Instagram following. You just have to be someone with an opinion who loves Bravo. And come on, so send me a message. So yes, let's get into it. Now this week, I cannot believe it's only been 1 week because so much happened. And it felt like with everything that happened was like more heightened and more heightened. So I'm gonna work a little bit backwards though. I'm gonna start with the most recent thing that I heard, which also happens to be good news, which is that Nene is engaged. Miss
You could have knocked me over with a feather.
With a feather. But where did you guys see this? I jumped on Gossip of the City, and me personally, if he don't tell me, it's not real.
Oh, that's your source.
Listen, Fee is, if y'all don't follow Gossip of the City T,
and she's private now, so you got to get the.
She's back private. Get that invite, okay?
Wait, private.
Yo, because she drops
Messy B. That was the reference that I had.
Messy B heard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a good
I'm
one.
not seeing a bunch of tags with it. All right, so maybe not breaking news. We heard. If anyone can validate that while we talk, that would be
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh yeah.
But something that definitely did happen in Atlanta, which I think was the first thing that kicked off this week, was we saw Ralph file for divorce. To which I think most of us were like, glad it's happening. Wish it had been her. Turns out 61 minutes earlier, it was her. She filed first. So let's talk about that. Let's start with Elle, since you're right below me. I know our screens are all in different order.
I actually at first liked that Ralph filed first because I've encountered that type of personality before, and that type of person will do anything in their power to get you to divorce them. And then when you divorce them, when you file the paperwork, they make child exchanging and co-parenting hard because, well, you wanted this. And it's like, sir, you damn near begged me to get a divorce. But then when I saw that she filed 61 minutes earlier, I said, oh, this is going to get good and petty. And she knew it was going to get good and petty because she had her lawyers file a certain type of way so that she could amend her reasoning later. Like she knew she was coming back to give us the hot tea. And I feel like that's because she knew Ralph's sassy self was going to run straight to the media, which apparently he did. Because I don't know how he was the people's source. Like, how did people.com not know that she filed 61 minutes earlier?
Because there was a little leak named Ralph.
I didn't even
he's so sad.
That's so true.
Like, and that's the thing. When Drew speaks on Ralph, she always uplifts him. She will, oh yeah, he played football. You redshirted for Rutgers. Like, I'm not saying that he's not a good athlete.
Shirt on right now.
But there is a difference between playing college ball and redshirting for a Division II school. Like, there are two different things. And she always bigs him up. He's doing this and he's doing that and he's writing a book. And you could feel her just trying. She was trying in every instance. She just, like, the therapy, she was at her wit's end and really, I think, became a shell of herself in some of the things that she would say. I don't think she believed that, Sonia should have a baby for her husband if she wasn't happy. But she said it because she knew that that's the stance her husband would take. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there was something that happened in the last, I'm going to say 3 months, because Drew knew what to do. It was something in a conversation that was said that she knew this mother effer is going to go. First thing Monday morning.
And then she asked him to drop the kids off. I got a meeting. Could you drop the kids off at school for me? And hightailed it to the courthouse.
And that's my kind of Chicago petty. I'm not gonna say I didn't like her before. She just wasn't giving enough as a housewife to the
I'll
overall.
say it. I'll say that I didn't like her before.
Well, God, I love you.
She was all like you were saying, she was all about uplifting Ralph and putting herself second like a good little wife. She was buying into that whole patriarchal Christian bullshit about how I can't be higher than my husband, so I'm going to make him as tall as I imagine him to be. Because we all knew since Tampa, that man was not shit.
Or the book.
I do have to say though, I do have to say though, I feel like
book.
What?
It's still coming out.
Yeah, that's a whole
27.
But I was gonna say, I do have to say though, like watching Drew and like, you know, like Kristen said, the way she always uplifts Ralph and acts in certain ways, and even the things that we've heard her say, we're like, girl, the patriarchy has you bad. But the thing is though, I'm not opposed to people being into that if that's what they're into. Like, if that's truly what makes you happy, being in that position, playing that role, and that's what makes you happy, then I support it. I don't want any part of it, but I also don't want you to tell me what to do. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. So I feel like she does truly believe in that. Like, even when the thing that she said to Sonia about like, hey, I think if your husband wants you should. I think she truly does believe that. I think that is just her thinking. The problem is she didn't find the right man who uplifts it on his end. Because you can't have that thinking with any type of man. You have to have that thinking with a man who thinks like that, who deserves to be your leader as you are submissive to him, who deserves to have you uplifted. He did not, he was not deserving of her. And that's where
and it just seems so unequally yoked because she just wanted, like, she just did everything. I don't want to say she did everything right because what's behind closed doors, I don't know. But on camera in front of us, it really seemed like she was trying to do everything right to make her family whole. And whatever is going on with Ralph, you know, as soon as that Tampa conversation happened, I'm like, does everybody know that Tampa is the sex capital? I mean, the sex workers capital of America? Like,
it's the stripper capital of the world, girl. Like,
it goes down in Tampa.
But it was also a respect thing for me. Like, you know, like at this point though, if you gonna go to Tampa and trick off, if that's the type of husband you trying to be out in these streets, I would really appreciate for you to just come tell me, and then you could trick off as a single man. But if that's not what you're going to do, if that's not what you're going to do, could you fuck with me enough to at least make up a lie? Could you fuck with me enough to tell me that you was at a business meeting? Like, this man didn't tell her nothing. Like, just, I'm in Tampa, like, and
put cameras in the house.
That's so creepy.
Psycho response
to watch her.
Yeah, creepy.
Yes, because she didn't do what he was doing.
But the men will always tell you, child. The men will always tell you that they cheating on you because they gonna turn around and be like, "Oh, your phone ringing at 10 o'clock because your side piece calling you." No, boo, that's your phone. Thank you for that information.
He's saying he did all of that. So here's the thing about Mr. Ralph. Philly Diva, I agree with you. I'm like, so sir, I'm like, he was an athlete. He was red-shirted, baby. He did not see one down on that field or that turf or that grass. He rode the pine. Okay. He didn't do anything. Here's the problem. I believe that Drew feels exactly that way because of her mama. That woman has been indoctrinated on patriarchy and submission. And it's like sitting there like, no, she actually believes that. So when she said that with her whole face, she opened her dick suckers up to say that to Sanya. She meant it with her whole heart and her whole spirit. They're like, girl,
Indeed.
that's the thing. Ralph has been telling us exactly who he is.
Who
And the
he is.
problem is, I've seen a lot of women do this thing. Sorry, I have to turn my camera on when I see this. Let me say this. I've
you
seen a
got the
lot of
grease on
women
this
Let me
who
say it
are
with your chest.
very,
Yes.
very submissive. Let me just tell y'all something. Some of the loudest people speaking submission is submitting to fools. And Drew Sidora has been submitting to a fool for damn near 9 years.
Well,
It's
the
like she's
part that
always done
people
this.
love to miss out is it says women submit to your husbands or your spouse as they submit to Christ.
To
Okay.
you. Christ, yeah.
That part.
And as in, it doesn't even have to be Christ. You have to submit to something. You have to be willing to be led by something in order to lead me. You feel what I'm saying? And so she's Pentecostal, I do believe. And I grew up Southern Baptist. This narrative of like, oh, well, that's just your husband. He got to submit to him. Listen, if the man is submitting to a dump truck, baby, I'm not trying to go. Right?
That's the thing. That's the
So
part about
that's what we
submission.
won't
Thank you,
do.
Elle.
Yeah, and I
Like-
think like she was constantly, it kind of reminds me of like when New York, when Dorinda was with what was his name? John. And Bethany was like, you're constantly trying to sell him to us. Like, we see who he is, but you're constantly trying to sell him to us and paint this picture that he's this great guy. And I felt like that's what Drew was doing with Ralph. It's like, girl, we see who he is. He's telling us, but you're trying to like, no, look over here, and selling us this picture of this great man. And he's like trying to adopt my son, but he won't really. And it was just, I was like, girl, stop. Like,
You
it's
want
like,
us to be blind with you.
yeah, and it's not working because we see it. And
I
she
can
just didn't.
understand her standpoint of having been a single mom and finding a man who was good and kind to her child, and really just kind of, we all know a lot of women in my life and in the world that will put up with a lot because of their children or what they think their child needs. But this was not it, Drew.
But if he was such a good father, he would have never let that storyline specifically play out last season. Josiah is old enough to have, first of all, to get on social media, whether he's allowed to.
Josiah is
old
an
enough
age.
to get on there.
Like, was he like
old
9 or
enough-
10?
Yes, he's
like-
old enough for his friends to have parents who, oh, that's the boy from the show. He's old enough for that. And if that was really your son, even if you weren't going to adopt him for the bullshit reasons that you gave us, you would have protected him from that. You would have never. So that, to me, again, like the Tampa thing tells me everything I need to know. I know the level of fathering you doing over there if you thought this was okay.
Yeah, because the thing about it is, like, you bring up a good point about last season, because here I am giving a mustard seed of grace to Marlo when she said to Ralph, why the hell are y'all telling him y'all going to do it and then backtracking? I'm like, wait a minute, they did actually tell him to his face, we are going to adopt you. And I'm like, wait, I'm sorry, y'all. Marlo got a point about that. It's like, it would be different if it was just you and Drew talking about this and y'all never told Josiah that. You did tell him that. And I was like, it's so interesting that you're like, we're going to do this. I'm going to write this book. I'm going to get this book deal. And then as soon as his daddy said, I don't want to do it. Oh, whew, stalemate. I don't know what to do, girl. I'm like, yeah, that's a red flag right there.
Man.
I would never do that. I'm like, so why were you trying to adopt him?
Why were you trying? Like, it wasn't like his daddy was dead.
Correct. Or
like,
still actively in jail.
Yes. And I say that it came out a lot harsher than I meant it to.
No, you said it right though.
I meant what I said, not how harsh it is. But you're like, his father is not deceased, is not in jail, and is capable and willing and able to play some role in Josiah's life. It wasn't that there was an empty space there. And Ralph volunteered to put the extra in that space. Like, as far as we thought, this relationship was, okay, he's out of jail, he's going to be working to build a relationship with his son, while Ralph is still the primary father. What are you doing? Is this how you thought it would be okay to raise? I mean, is this okay? Like, is this the man that you want to show your daughter? Like, you just don't have this son that you've shared for 9 years with Drew. You also have a daughter. And I specifically don't talk mess about my ex because I just let that shit play out on its own. I don't have to. And it's just
okay.
Like, it turns my stomach that he has the audacity to drop this book. Like,
Mm.
I don't like to stop nobody's coins, but sorry, publishers.
But
Y'all
be
make
so
enough
fucking
on the
for
other
real.
books.
It's a
But
lot.
Like, it is bold. That is just so bold in the worst way possible.
In the worst way. Like, I'm sorry, that like my grits is burnt now. Like, I'm hot as fish.
Audacity.
Yeah. And now that she knows that he's awful and now has this proof, I really hope there's some sense of liberation we're going to see, kind of like how we saw with Portia and how she got less stupid after Cordell. So I'm really excited.
But we gotta wait 2 seasons for that.
I know.
I said that
but
though.
also,
I
yeah,
said that. I said I want Drew to have that Portia style comeback.
Yeah.
like
Oh, she will.
I would
want
love that because
for
I
her
liked
for-
Drew when she first came. I was excited that she was going to join, and then she was just a mess, and I couldn't rock with her. I wanted to, and I just couldn't. So I would love to see her have some liberation and be like the Drew I thought we were getting when she came on. So I can be Team Drew because I'm ready for
I
it.
want to
well,
see
that girl
Drew
found
Sedora.
out what gaslighting was, right?
Mhm.
So she probably just
That
said
was
who she was because she was being told who she was.
But can I add something? Please tell me y'all have seen this that will go on the level of alleged, okay?
Mhm.
With Drew
Oh God.
being
Oh
close
God.
friends
Oh God.
with a woman who happened to be Mimi from Love and Hip Hop's
Not Ty
ex-girlfriend.
the fuck boy. Not Ty the fuck
That's
boy.
what
I was like,
exactly what I
God
was
damn
going
it.
to say.
And
So,
now
like
Ralph is
so
cheating
that
on
picture
that
that
with
was
the
leaked,
press.
that picture
Yeah.
was at Ralph's birthday party.
It
Mhm.
was cropped. Because I'm like, okay, wait a minute. What are y'all trying to say? First of
I
all, we
didn't
all
see
know
anything.
Ty is a
But
fuck
did
boy.
you
Okay?
see that
We all knew
Mimi
that.
also posted about it?
Ooh.
Oh, did she? That I
Oh,
did
Lord.
not see.
Wait a minute, did you say Nene as in Nene Leaks or Mimi?
Mimi.
Oh,
Mimi.
That's how we
Yeah,
all-
that's what I.
Here's
That's
the
where I
thing.
Oh
heard
yeah,
it
that's where
from.
we got it from. But my
Yeah.
thing is, I just think I think her picking people meter is off, and I hope she don't turn into like, oh, like that Cat Williams joke where he says like all the women turn around and be like, oh, niggas ain't shit. No, but the niggas you pick ain't shit.
Ain't shit.
Right.
It's
that part.
Because I know
it's good
you.
people out there.
It's you. I hope she takes some time to heal, get a therapist, like work on some inner work, figure out her attack, like do
I
some
kinda
work,
would like
and
to
then
see that journey.
get a
Like,
yeah. I would love to see that journey.
I would love to
Honestly,
see
any of the
we
women
never
who are
see
getting divorces, instead of being like sad about it, I would love to see someone on camera go through that healing journey. Any of them, Lisa. Who else is getting a divorce?
Katie.
Oh, Lord.
Katie. I feel like Katie's past that at that point, though. But I mean,
Yeah.
she could still go on it. She could still go on it.
Adriana
Can
for
we
sure.
see Kenya?
Ariana.
I would
Get
love
some
to. Oh,
healing?
Ashley. If we could
Ashley's
see
too immature for that.
I
Ashley's
would
not
love
getting
to
a
see
cameras.
divorce.
Robin. I would love to see Robin see the light and then go on that journey. But,
Yeah.
I was
Somebody had mentioned Portia and the journey they want Drew to go on. I'm like, that means that Drew will have to like embarrass herself because she dating some boy who going off to camp because he in the NFL. She got to give like this contract to this guy. If you want to shoot up my club, this how this need to be. Oh, and then you got to date this other guy,
Yeah,
some
she
random ass
can-
white
she can
dude
skip
in the
that.
Bahamas.
dating
But
around.
maybe
That's
do all of
not.
that.
Please don't
That's
forget
all
about
part of
Baby
the-
Nump.
That's part of
We
the fun.
did get
Baby
Drew
Nump,
in
okay.
the game. We got Drew in the game.
Look
She
here,
doesn't
we
need
got
that
Ding Dong
light
Davis,
thing.
okay?
We
Yeah.
We're going
Ding
to
Dong
listen.
Davis.
you know
She's
what I
not going
mean?
to date right away.
Right.
But
that's
No,
the
we're
thing.
going to get her
I
in
want to hear
therapy.
this.
She's
So
whereas
speak-
Portia was still trying to become established. Drew is established. Drew has a career.
That's
So
true.
that
Yes.
whole like finding yourself as a celebrity moment that Portia had to go through in real time. We won't. I mean, who knows? We won't have to get that from Drew as far as what we
I need
know.
to see Drew in Lifetime movies. That's the come up. I
Wait a
need.
minute.
I need
What
her to
Yeah.
get
what
small
member of
roles
TLC was
again.
Drew
You know what
Sidora?
I
Was
mean?
she?
No, she was in
T-Boz?
TLC.
She was T-Boz. No, the movie.
Okay.
Oh, for
In
the
Yeah.
movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of, we touched on Potomac a little bit, so I want to talk about what's happening over on that side of the pond or woods or whatever.
Dancing off key for TikTok. Dancing off beat for TikTok. That's what's
Always.
happening.
Always. But we saw
That's my
Peter. So first of all, and there's a connection between the two cities. Peter was like I woke up to news of Peter allegedly being charged for choking Tammy's daughter at a
Niece.
club.
Niece.
At a club. So
Yeah,
I
if
saw
he
that
would have
news.
choked Charlie, we would have met. Y'all would have met Walker. Southside walk.
This would have
Right.
definitely been a whole different conversation.
That part.
Hello.
And then I saw a video of him talking about the housewives and telling them to keep their names out of his mouth.
Mhm.
He doesn't know any of them like
Mhm.
that, and that he didn't do anything with Wendy. Then I saw Gordan hop on and be like, "What do you mean you don't know me like that when you blah 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 blah?" Mentioned all the
And
ways
that's
they know
not
him,
what Peter said.
including him giving him money, which I think is interesting. That's the part that Gordy, first of all, like Stephanie just said, that's not what Gordy said. Gordy didn't say he didn't know them. He said the other housewives and Bravos. But second of all, Peter did say that Mia lied. And notice Gordan didn't address that, the fact that Mia lied, because it's
No.
true. So then there was that. Then Mia came out with an apology about her lying.
Mhm.
It was a lot. Potomac was doing a lot. So what did you guys think about that whole, like, how was that journey for you that day?
Like one of the things that we hear all this, and I'm not surprised, but I'm kind of shocked. You know what I'm saying? Because like Peter is just off there's something off with him. I think he's an old school man. He thinks he's higher than Val, and like he will never come truthful. He will never be truthful with himself or come out with any truth. So I don't believe anyone, because Mia is who Mia is. And then we have the Uncle Ben's just like fighting, and they're not even talking on the same level. It's odd, but I'm not shocked. But then also the video that also ticked me off was after he was found not guilty, because we're finding out about this now. Apparently it happened a while ago. He was like, I got people protecting me. If you don't sound like some Jan 6 bullshitter who like thinks like it was so out of key, and I was just like, why are you addressing it in this light? Like, you got people protecting you. You're telling on yourself. So I don't know. Peter, I always found him to be gross. I was with Cynthia's mom, and well, I didn't like the fact that they hid the marriage certificate, but I get it. And he's just, I never thought he was a good person. And he came on to the, you got your food, child. Yes. Pour one out for Peter's, whatever. But
no, Tammy did a live and said that the only reason that Peter won that was because her niece didn't want Tammy's help. Like she didn't, because I guess in her brain that would have like made it bigger. So Tammy's niece was represented by like a public defense attorney, and Peter had a real legit, I put money into this, that you're on retainer lawyer. And she's, according to Tammy, that is the only reason that they won. Their witnesses, allegedly, there's footage allegedly, and it was just the horrible work of an overworked public defender.
On a side note though, really quick, like, why do we do that? It drives me crazy, like how so many people like will have the opportunity to have resources available to them due to the wealth of their parents or their family, and they still will choose to struggle. Or the parents will build themselves up to get that wealth and still choose to let their children struggle. And it's like, why do you think we have such a hard time with generational wealth? Is because like we don't embrace it. Like we feel like we have to struggle to show our worth, and we can't just start from a place of comfort and go from there. But they are, and that's why they're advancing further and faster. We need to learn to use the comfort to come up and go, and to not mock people for not having struggle story. That's what we want. We want us to all not have the struggle story to start.
Okay, let me tell you something. If I was in trouble with the law and I had a rich mom and daddy, I will bring on my inner Kyle, and I'm like, Daddy, make this go away. I'm like, girl, I'm not even gonna see the inside of the precinct to go to jail. Because guess who my daddy is? Are you fucking kidding me?
No, yeah, watch me.
I mean,
watch me. Watch my ass as I walk out the door.
But sometimes that help comes with strings attached, with obligations.
Helps.
It really, yeah. It's kind of like, yeah, I'll help you out, but A, B, C, and D, because everybody's family is different. People have expectations. And about the struggle part, it's Christianity. That's Christianity telling us we have to suffer in this lifetime to get the riches and the heavens above.
Well, not even just Christianity, but you know, it's all
patriarchy.
It's most organized religions. It's most society. Like it's cultural. You know, across the board, when you look at it, that to gain something, to have the fruits, to literally to get the fruit, you have to do the work without, so
Correct.
there's
But
It's
there is
about
finding the
legitimacy.
balance.
It's
there's
about
a lot of older women
legitimacy
who
of
believe.
Mhm.
I'm
It's
sorry, go
about
ahead.
legitimacy of your own being as well. Like where I grew
Mhm.
up, it's
No.
still a real thing. It's like, well, you're not from where I am. You don't know the
Mhm.
struggle. You had an easy life. So what are you going to say about me? Right? So we also have to remember, like, we do this to ourselves. It's like when we see people like a Candiace who does have
Mhm.
generational wealth, whose
Mhm.
mother, but again, with her mother, there were strings attached to that generational wealth, even though Candiace said, why am I going to suffer if I can have an easier time with it? And why do you have any problems with my mom helping me out?
And that's the thing, because Neil, you bring up a really good point. Because I think when it comes to us as Black and brown folks, we the only ones that apologize for having generational wealth. White people don't. They're
Mhm.
like,
Asian people don't.
I'm gonna take this easy ride. But when it comes to Black people, it's like we gotta apologize for it, or we gotta reach back and give back. We gotta prove that we really are still down. We gotta do that. White people do
Don't forget
not.
about your sisters and
Don't forget about the
you getting
people in the
this
hood that helped you get where you were. It's like, wait a minute, don't tell white people
Ain't
that to
nobody
come out the
help me.
trailer park.
At all.
There's that, but there are a lot of
I would
older
just like to
women
take this moment.
specifically.
Oh, sorry. I'd just like to take this moment to shamelessly plug that I had an episode called Black and Bougie. So if you haven't checked it out, for Bold Black and Addicted to Bravo, Elle was one of the guests, and we had a fantastic conversation about this very topic. So check that out. It was episode 13. Thank you. Continue.
I was just saying there are a lot of women who kind of believe, whether it's the verbiage or not, that an idle mind is the devil's playground, right? So in order to be a productive woman, you have to always be doing something. The idea of this soft life to them registers as lazy because they had to work. I had to go out there and get it for myself, and I had to work and do this. So then you have to do the same. We can't give it to you because then you wouldn't understand. And it's like, struggles are struggles and they're relative, and whether or not my life looks easy or whether you register it as lazy, I have struggles over here. To say that I haven't struggled for what I achieved because I didn't struggle in the same way that you struggled is like disrespectful to what I have going on. And if as a woman you could help not have any struggles, whether they're yours or otherwise, why would you? Like, which is why I hate that whole protect all women thing. Like, because that's not what most of y'all is interested in doing. Just protecting the women with stories that you identify
the ones that
with.
you're attracted to, the ones
Yeah.
that you care about, your mama and your sister and your nana. Because Elle, you bring up a very good point. When I think about struggle and it's got to be attached, if I have a soft light, that means that you don't know anything. And I think for me, as someone who is grieving, and I have a friend who is grieving, and we came to this realization, it's like, I feel like I should be doing something, like, because one, that's always been attached to you. Like if you're not in service to somebody, your children, a man, or society in general, something feels off in your mechanism. You're like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be active. It's like, baby, sit your ass down. It takes us like, girl, it's like, sit down for real.
And there are a lot of resentful people out there that are mad that they did have to struggle and don't want to help somebody else along, because I hear it all the time. It's like, well, I went through this, I survived this, I overcame this. What the fuck is wrong with them that they can't do it? And sometimes I'll hear, like, even relatives say that. I'm like, why would you want to make the life of your children or your family harder when it's already so fucking hard out there? In here should be the soft space. In here should be the safe and warm place. And it has a lot to do with how we don't like ourselves. And it always comes back to, if you don't like yourself, you're not going to really show up for anybody else. If you're a bitter person because A, B, C, D didn't work out for you, you're not going to be a safe space for anyone else. So
what did Auntie Ruth say? Auntie Ruth said, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else?
Oh, can I get an amen?
Amen.
When I was younger, I don't even really fully remember what sparked the conversation, but my mom and I were having a conversation, and she was like, the treatment of men and women has just always been so weird to me. And she was like, if for example purposes, if I were to have left your dad and just ran away and left you and your sister with your father would have so much help from all the women in his family, women in the park, just trying to run up and help this man manage these 2 kids. However, if your dad had ran off on me, his family, my family would be like, you're a mom. That's what you're supposed to do. You would have to beg for help. So like my mom's whole thing is like, I would never put a woman in that position. Now you got to be doing the work, but like I'm never going to put anybody that in that position if I can help it. Like, because what?
Yeah, Elle, thank you for touching on why I have a very big problem with Tyler Perry's Daddy Little Girl movie. Because I'm like, time out. This lady dies. I gotta take care of kids. They're your kids. Are we fucking kidding here? I was like, this is why, nope, I'm out. Y'all just lost me. I love Idris, but baby, there's a reason why he like, me, Tyler Perry movie? When did that happen? Girl, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know her.
So speaking of taking care of somebody's,
never heard it.
So speaking of taking care of somebody's kid, I think we can all agree that while it was great for Ralph to step up during the relationship, the book was a bit much. And then releasing the book, even as getting a divorce, is like extra.
Releasing the book is bullshit.
It's just
real quick.
Yeah.
It's kind of on topic with being a mom, and I'm not low. I'm opposite of low right now. Sometimes, depending on where you move, Elle, it looks like your sweatshirt says MILF. So I just thought that was hilarious.
It does. Yeah, I can see that.
Wait, does this like MILF more is hilarious.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, it's
new shirt, new merch alert.
It said MILF. Oh my God.
Like
and so did I. Like, she's
okay, and then
smile.
Never saw the S.
And then
I'm like,
one more Potomac thing before we get to Vanderpump. One more Potomac thing. I'm going to read to you. So I sometimes have trouble sleeping. So I'll wake up, and even though I know you shouldn't touch your electronics, of course, I touch my electronics. So imagine when I looked at my phone at 2 a.m. this morning and I saw this. This is from Katie from Potomac. Maybe next season on Real Housewives of Potomac, they will ask Charrisse about the night we had sex and I lied for her so she could get her settlement. Maybe. I'm not bitter, just saying. Or maybe she is so entertaining, we will all be amazed as never.
Katie ate Cha-Cha's cookies.
And then she also said, I never lie. I told Karen first, told my mom. I don't lie. Which, by the way, the fact that Karen knew, and as much as Charrisse says so much about Karen, and she still has never said a word, Karen is a real one. Like
a real one.
That's a classy
the grand
lady
dom,
right there.
that is why she is the grand dom for real. It's not just about who you know, it's about your character and the level of class.
And she didn't flirt with the idea. She didn't tease it. Nope. She didn't say, I could spill your tea. She didn't say nothing. And then Katie dropped another tweet that I thought was very interesting, where she says, I never outed anyone. I protected, like that. I never outed anyone was very important to me. She's like, I protected my friend. Like, and I really think that people like Charrisse is already trying to cement her spot for next season. You'll see her, like, if you look, she's hanging out with the girls. She's hanging out with me. She's trying to cement her spot.
Seeing her again. All right.
Like, it is what it is. She's coming back.
So 2 things. There were a ton of tweets that Katie tweeted that night, and I don't want to put anything on her, but it did give a little bit off the wagon for me. So I very much hope that she's okay. Also, we do have some breaking news in from Real Housewives of Atlanta. The Real Housewives of Atlanta cast is filming new confessionals for season 15 to discuss Drew's divorce, with TMZ reporting that Drew and Ralph are currently still living in the same house. It's giving very much Lisa and oh boy.
Yep. It's like, get back in there, because they said they finished principal shooting and they're like, oh, now we got confessionals. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this. Oh, yeah, fun.
But Katie's tweets were very unhinged last night. She talked about a lot because the Charrisse tweet was a little like left field. Like, Who
Out of
asked you?
nowhere?
Yeah,
So
like
you
weren't you
think
just
It
trying to
was
get back on
something
the
out of
show?
nowhere.
Does Katie
Um,
allegedly have is it a drinking problem, a drug problem?
No, she's discussed it. She has a dependency on Adderall
Mm.
Yeah.
and alcohol.
and
And
alcohol.
alcohol.
Yes.
She
And,
mixes.
The
She tweeted
situation
some
with
things
Katie
about-
broke my heart because she is so smart. She is so on top of it, and she's beautiful to look at. Like, and she's funny.
She's so
When she called Ashley
funny.
stupid instead of dumb, that sealed my love for her.
No,
So
sealed it.
whatever goes with what happens with Katie, I just want her to be okay.
I actually,
Because
My-
whatever that girl is going through, it's bad.
It's not for play.
my Katie moment was like, well, actually, you're renting, and her face. Next
Oh,
face.
gagged her at that one. No,
Gagged her.
She
And I
always
knew
had
from
me cracking
then.
up. She's just so funny, and her delivery is just so perfect.
You also
Sure.
rent.
She tweeted about allegedly talking to Kanye's agent, saying that according to Kanye's agent, he is ready to come back and like make an apology. And as a Black Jew, she's excited to sit down with him. She also tweeted about, as a biracial woman, she's allowed to say the N-word. She definitely put a hard ER on it for me, and that was like not too much, Katie.
no.
Yeah,
Not
and
too much.
they were all attached to like songs, all of the tweets. Then she talked about I want to read this one because this one was the one that I was like, okay, something is a little off here. She said that Kanye was looking to apologize and that she was hood. And that was the one that was for me. She said her best friend growing up always used to tell her, we the best. And if you don't agree, then you get one to the chest. Don't disrespect my hood. So I was like,
I just hope
Okay.
that she gets the help
Oof.
that she needs.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Everybody wants Katie to come back so much. I love Katie, but I need
want a healthy
feel
Not
like-
until she's ready.
right. And I feel like it'll be like Kim Richards all over again. Like
Yeah.
just
Mhm,
get
mhm.
her
Oh.
help.
Yeah,
She doesn't need to be on reality television anymore. Obviously,
I agree.
it's
I
too much.
think selfishly,
It's not like she
we want
needs the money.
her. Yeah, selfishly we want her, but for her sake, it's best that she's not. I agree.
Yeah,
I
most
agree.
of my
After those
tweets in
tweets.
regards to Katie, like most of my posts and tweets, like if she's healthy, I want a healthy Katie. Like I
Mhm,
love Katie
mhm.
for real. Like
Yeah,
I
agreed.
appreciate everything she says. I like that she is the only one other than Karen that can really hold Giselle's feet to the fire
Yeah,
and mean it and
Yeah.
stand 10 toes down and say what. Like I love that for my viewing entertainment. However,
Yes.
F all that shit. Like I want Katie healthy. She
Katie
is a
needs help.
mother. She is a daughter. I need her healthy, happy, and strong. Like
I
And
agree.
I will
Like full
say,
stop.
And
Speaking
her
of another-
Twitter page is
for
gone
people
now
So
as
speaking
well.
of another
Suffer-
Katie,
well, can I throw something
You
in
got
there?
you.
yeah,
For people
yeah.
who do suffer from like substance abuse disorder, which is a real thing, on the Katie topic, I just want to say I'm not sure if she's on something because I feel like you go through these manic moments and you need a feeling of chaos when you're sober. So I'm going to still throw out the benefit of the doubt. She's working right now. I'm not going to,
Mhm.
when I'm
Oh,
looking,
yeah,
I
for
just,
sure.
I just wanted to
Not
throw
putting
that out.
anything
No, that's
on
good.
there.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you very much for adding that because
I
that's
love how
important
your
to know.
baby wants
Yes.
in on that conversation.
So speaking of another Katie, I have to say, okay, we're talking about vanderpumprules. I have liked Katie for a long time. I have always thought Katie got the short end of the stick. It has always bothered me that people love Tom so much that they would judge Katie. Even first of all, most of her moments were drunken, and second of all, they judged her for how she reacted to the shitty things he did, but they never judged him for the shitty things, just her bad reaction. It drove me crazy. I'll never forget the time that he called her a social justice warrior because she tried to stand up and be an ally, and they were all making fun of her, and she was the only person who in that room said something about the cop prank. And I think it's real easy to, not easy, but easier to be an ally when you have the person in the room with you. Like, I think if there had been a Black person in that room, even Tom would have been like, guys, this is not a fun prank. But having no Black people in the room and having Katie still stand up to all of them, that it was a horrible prank, all my love, Katie. Having your own fiance call you a social justice warrior for trying to do the right thing, bullshit. So Katie has had a soft spot in my heart. And I know a lot of people didn't like her, but I feel so wonderful with more people coming around to the Katie side lately. Like, it fills me with
vindicated?
joy. I'm like, yes, I do. I feel like
Celebrate this win, honey. Celebrate.
I love it. I
Celebrate.
love it.
Cheers
How
to
have you
you.
guys been handling? So before we get to the big part, how have you guys been handling the Katie, Raquel, Tom?
The season?
The first part, the season. Yeah. Then we'll get into the real life. Whatever. How have you been handling
How I
what's
feel
happening on
about
the
it.
show?
So in watching it, I had this like, you know, before I had a little soft spot for that Bambi-eyed trick. And but it wasn't, I had a soft spot, but I was like, girl, stop pissing where you eat. I don't co-sign this. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, right? It's just like, do you want people to like you? And I felt that Katie was being oddly fair, knowing they're on this show, they have to be on this cast together. Please just don't piss where you eat.
Okay, so y'all know I'm new to this. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I have never liked Katie because she was always a hanger on, and she was sucking the tit of Nazi Chic, and then the other one who called the cops. So let's be clear. She may have had one good moment, but she has been aligning herself with some very, very horrible, questionable people.
You better read, Katie.
And she has always been the third, fifth wheel out there. I remember one of her first scenes in the first season where Nazi Chic and the other one were having a little fight with Sheena. And all of a sudden she just walks up and they're all like, what are you doing here? And she goes, I just want to be part of the conversation. And that's Katie. She's just begging to be part
screaming
of the
right now
conversation because she has been shit this whole time. Because that's the reason why she stayed with that piece of shit Schwartz. Because she's shit. And she put up with his shitty behavior this whole time. That man dumped a beer in public on her head in Mexico.
You better say it.
She stayed for her discounted Wednesday wedding. Sorry.
Oh, I'm so glad that I'm not the only person who
just be clear,
dislikes
Katie is your favorite.
Yeah, right. Can I just tell you that I was like, I'm sorry, did I miss Katie's Mean Girl era, then Tequila Katie, then back to Mean Girl era? Because I've always seen that about Katie. It's like, you're not a nice person, but I thought it was very interesting when she was talking to Ariana about, we always was a group, you know, we were a set, and I don't want people to take sides because they may not pick me. I'm like, yeah, they probably are not, because you've been mean to them. It's like, they're not
specifically,
and you don't even like them. She doesn't even like them.
Specifically,
them. It's like, girl, what the heck? It's
I
like, no,
feel
girl, you are not. You're a mean girl. You've been mean to everybody there, and now you want everybody to sit in a sewing circle that you didn't learn how to do, to be your friend. It's like, girl, get out of my face.
I also
No, but I just want to say really quickly though, I feel like I watch Vanderpump Rules different than other people because, like, to me they're all awful. Like, I'm not watching it based on like I love Katie and like Katie would be a magnificent person in the real world. I love Katie, and out of the cast of them being them, Katie is one of the best. Like, I love Katie in the sense of that cast compared to the rest of the awful cast. Like that.
So what you're
with the
saying
exception
is
of like Ariana is the only person
No,
kind of outside of it, but not quite.
The only good people on that show are Chef Jose and the other line chef in the back that they only show once every other season.
All right, I gotta go.
Those are the only good people in that whole entire
like, so
cast.
that's what I'm saying. Like, so what you're saying is Katie is the least bad smelling piece of shit in the shit sandwich.
basically, well, Ariana really.
Okay.
like,
So she's the
Ariana,
pickle on top of the shit sandwich.
I'm done with you.
I can
And
digest.
Ariana is not great either because one,
Oh, please break it down for us.
she was the one cheating with Sandoval when he was still with Kristen. And I don't care if Kristen cheated because cheaters, pumpkin eaters all around. Then secondly, came in acting like she was too good for the show when she was Sheena's backup dancer the very first time we saw her, trying to cover up her face because I don't want to be on this show. Because why?
Not
She took
good as
sketch
gold, child.
comedy so seriously, and she couldn't be on a reality show. So thank you for finally coming around because you got a check.
Oh,
Don't be reading my
Yeah.
favorite for filth like that.
Ariana's
Just so
oh
you
my
know,
God.
she reads everybody for filth on Wednesdays at 9 on 9
Okay.
Eastern time on Instagram. If you're looking to get
Hello.
read.
Other thing is, I try to put it like in a real life lens because I'm gonna vouch for Katie because I feel like one, she was insecure because she had that terrible accident and that probably took some time off for her young life. Two, they were also in their 20s. So like their maturity, like I remember being around that age and I was kind of not so much a mean girl, but sometimes my insecurities did not make the best choices. So I appreciate her growth and then also fucking telling Swartz that he's a piece of shit and I'm no longer gonna stand this. So and I only started watching Vanderpump Rules last year. So I got to see it all at once. I didn't really get to grow with the show, but I kind of like had to remember, oh, they're in their 20s. They're in their 20s. I mean, Stassi, Nazi Stassi is still awful. I fucking hate her. But
Don't bring that bitch back. People keep asking.
yeah,
for her. Like,
never.
I didn't even watch the show, and I know I'm like, isn't she racist? Like,
Right.
why
Right,
is
We
even
don't
I
need
know
her
that.
back. We don't need her
Oh, yeah.
back.
And this is a thing that I've been saying on different accounts. I'm like, for people who like talk about Stassi, I'm like, stop fucking saying Black Lives Matter, everyone's equity, and talk about bringing Stassi back. Do not ever say that in my face.
Come
Yeah.
on. Come on.
I'm about to
Shitty.
mute a lot of accounts because of that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You have offended more than one ethnic group and you hate yourself. I don't like Stassi should not ever come back to a screen. She needs to stop being praised just because she can talk shit. Everyone can talk shit to them. That's why we have who we have now. Like people can still be catty. We don't need
I don't need a racist to be catty.
right.
No,
and
but
fucking,
I'm
she's
not-
nothing special. She's just like every other fucking mean white girl that she's just mirroring. She's nothing special. She's just a
Nothing.
reflection of most of the fucking crowd that watches it. That's all it is.
Literally, her book is
But-
called Basic
Haley.
Bitch because they acknowledge the basic
She's-
bitchness of it, which means you can just switch it out for someone else.
Right.
But how
I hate
delicious was it that this bitch showed up going, oh, I'm procreating. And then this story popped up. So we're not talking about her having
Right.
baby sprinkled.
Right.
That's
So
what I love. It's like,
true.
Oh, I love it.
Because
And I love
everybody
when
got
they
there
do
was
it.
so
like
quick.
it.
The only thing that I am sad about,
Mm.
because everybody, and oh Lord, even as I like know I'm going to say it, I feel like Nala's going to read
Mm.
the person for filth after I say it. But what I was going to say is the only good thing about Stassi is that it brought Bo to us. And I feel like all the see, there she goes. All the other guys on the show are such crap and are so awful that it was nice having a better example of like a guy. Oh my God, they're all shaking their head. Okay, all right. I'm gonna let Stephanie respond to this one.
Bologna sandwich.
I'm gonna let thumbs down Stephanie respond to this one, and then I'll let Nela. Stephanie, go ahead.
Okay, just real quick, I love that they talked about going to a friend's wedding instead of Stassi on the show. I love that they didn't get to say her name. That was delicious. Bo, no, I never liked him. I felt like he was an opportunist and he got his come up being with Stassi. I never trusted him. He was always putting on for the cameras, even when it had like nothing to do with him. Like that one time when he was like dancing, he went out and danced with the crowd in the street. I felt like that was all for show so that the cameras would be with him. No, I never liked Bo. I don't trust
that
him. No.
as like authentic him just being him.
Mm-mm.
An actor.
Fake. Yes, exactly. He's an actor and he was a casting director. Like, no.
That's
no.
why
So he knows what to
guys
do.
You're
what to
like
look
Drake
for.
is the
Okay.
best rapper. I'm like,
He was a casting director.
Yes.
I don't even know Bo, and now it's a no for me.
No, right. I have no idea who y'all talking about. I just heard that, there was gossip with Bo when they broke.
Thank
like,
goodness you don't,
that's what I
Philly.
know.
Don't even look them up.
Like, can I
No.
say that's the mess?
nothing. He's nothing. Yeah,
No,
he's
My heart's
so
a little,
happy
my heart's a
cold
little broken right
bologna
now, guys. I
sandwich.
love me some Bo. All right, Nela, do your damage. Let us know
Oh no,
why.
no, my Stephanie did it all for me. I have nothing to say about that situation. Let's just say that I'm glad that they are over there. I
Yeah.
don't need them anywhere near here. And for those who may have just started their VPR journey, it is a lot. There's a lot of nuance. So I just want to shout out a certain podcast, Vanderpumprules Party Podcast, with Sarah
Okay.
C and Holly H over there. They, if anybody really wants to catch up on what's happening, please go listen to them because they have been covering VPR for years.
I tried it. I can only do this season. I can't go all the way back.
Don't. I only got into it because there was I caught the episode that that started when they had the sit down with Sheena and Brandy. And then I was like, oh, I guess I'm watching this shit now. So that's the only reason I even stayed around. But I hate watch that show because I do not like anyone on that show.
See?
They are all garbage goblins for real.
Can I say
I feel the same
though?
way about Salt Lake City. Yes.
Yeah.
I am not gonna lie. In light of recent events, I know she's garbage. Okay, I know that we don't really need her. But if I could have a Kristen Dowdy confessional for 35 seconds, I want her vindicated for Miami Girl. I said what I said. I said what I said.
Okay, but
I
what
did
about
see that
Brandy?
episode. Like there are like 3 or 4 episodes I've seen in my life. It was the sit down with Brandy, you know, because we had the crossover for a couple of weeks
Yeah.
after Beverly
Well, they
Hills.
paid y'all.
Like, yeah. And it was Miami Girl, because like you went and got the chick from Florida. Like
Dedication.
That
savage.
level. That level of intensity.
savage
We need this.
pettiness.
Remember when she was like to the other woman?
Yeah,
she was
like
suck a dick. I need
Suck
a
a
little
dick.
bit of Kristen this season. Just
so there are things that I remember. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But just 35 seconds with her face covered because I
Mhm.
still remember what she did to Faith.
Yep.
Oh, and again, back to my girls over at VPR that party podcast. They were the only ones that had Faith on to talk to her about 1, what happened to her in the initial, and 2, they brought her on to talk about what happened when they got rid of those other 2, including Kristen. So again, props to them. But at the same time, yeah, Kristen is just this. What's the word I want to use? She is chaos in a bottle. Too bad she's a piece of racist chaos in a bottle.
Exactly.
She's a chaotic.
Just chaotic. Incredible TV. Damn.
So
Yeah.
I am somebody who I love watch this show. I feel like I'm a justice for Shishu account. I'm here for Shishu. I'm like, I get it. You fucked Scandival and you broke, like, girl, you didn't help them break up. Let's be very good. This is about Tom. It's like, it's always been about him. So I like Ariana. I kind of always liked her. I don't need Stassi nor Kristen back because here's the thing, Katie, I get it. You had a fallout that had nothing to do with their problematic asses. Y'all just fell out. Do not talk to me about like, oh, bring them back. I'm like, no. Don't just say your person ain't shit because you just fell out with them, baby. You had no problem being a mean girl, which is a wee-ho, on this show for years. Katie, how dare you sit up in Sheena's face and tell her that she need to be your friend? Bitch, you've been mean to her since day one. I wish the fuck I would. I'm like, girl, you lucky I do not DM Tom Schwartz some damn numbers. The way that you used to gang up and cheat Sheena. Why you act like Sheena owes you something? She don't owe you shit.
Can there also be something said about? Oh, you guys are gonna get on me for this one too.
I'm just gonna give you a hug, right? Because we just keep getting on you.
I know.
Yeah, we love you regardless.
We trying to bring you over. We trying to grab Nyemade by her collar. Come on, girl.
I know.
Come on over here. Come on.
But y'all making it sound
say, like,
juicy. Y'all making it sound like I'm missing out.
You are, girl.
You are. You need to hop on.
I was like, I'm never watching this whiteness. I'm never gonna do it. I'm never gonna do it.
Hard.
I watched it. I said, oh my God.
It's chaos.
It's good.
You get
But
sucked in.
what I was gonna say is, like, can there be something said for growth? Like, we did start watching them all like 10 years ago. And like, I love me. I love the growth that I've had, but I haven't always been the me I am today. And if 36-year-old me had to watch 23-year-old me and the things that I said and the way that I thought, and like, and even back then, starting from when you're a teenager, you think you know who you are. Even as you hear adults say, oh, I changed so much, you think that they may have, but I'm not going to. You think you are solid in who you are, and you don't actually become an adult until you start realizing you have no clue what the F you're talking about. And everybody's figuring it out and everybody's doing all that stuff. So like, for me, I do judge them, but I also judge them with like a small grain of salt. And it's also why I think Summer House, which will be a whole separate conversation, which also why I think Summer House should have a cutoff age as well, because judging the actions of a 35-year-old and a 25-year-old on a guy is two very different mentalities of dealing with the situation. But anyway,
but we can circle back.
No, you're absolutely right.
And know that the Toms are still the Toms from season 1.
Season 1.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's
Definitely
the
the
thing
same.
as well. There's been no
They're
growth.
the same people. They have not grown.
You don't think any of them have grown though? None of them?
Because
No, I
if
understand,
they
because
had
I feel like with
grown,
Katie, I feel like with I feel like with Katie, I feel like I never liked her, but the only time I liked her is when she stood up to Stassi. But I feel like now, like I still feel some type of way of like her going back and forth with Sheena, but I understand where she's coming from. Like, this is like the one thing she asked Tom of, and he still can't do it. So it's like I'm definitely on Katie's side. But I still feel like she, like when she was talking about like being left out of the group, I'm like, you don't even like those people. You never liked them. You've talked so much crap about them. You really have no friends there except for Lauren from Utah. So I don't understand like what she's expecting from all of these people who she's hated on and who all like Tom. That's the only thing with Katie that I don't understand.
Can I
And there's
just say
only
I
so
love-
much growth.
Can I
that
just say
you
I love
can-
subtle Bravo shade? Like the fact that calling someone Lauren from Utah is a shade and we all clocked it. Like
It's the best ever.
Little Bravo language things like that just fill me with joy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nela, what were you saying?
Oh, going back to your whole point about growing. Yes. In normal life, you do grow and you realize when people are no longer good for you and you move on, or you realize that you need to be in a different space and people just can't fuck with you anymore. So they drop off. In this kind of situation, we have stunted development because they have all stuck around to keep this story going. I think had they not been in front of cameras, no way are these people going to stay friends. No way would they have any interaction with each other whatsoever. The reason that they are even in their circles anymore is because they are on this show and they have to keep that dynamic going. So no, I if there is growth, it's not much at all because they can't because we as an audience aren't going to let them grow and become mature, because if they became mature, then what are we watching? What they should have done is like cycled them out like you would in a real restaurant. Because that whole show started in the restaurant. It was about the restaurant. It was about servers at the restaurant that just happened to have already been fucking each other before there were cameras even rolling, right?
Yeah.
So why are they surprised that they still fucking each other with the cameras rolling?
I hope Southern hospitality stays that way, where it's just about the restaurant, like just throughout the restaurant. But hey, Diana, I'm so excited that Diana has joined us. So I had wanted to talk about Tom. It's about Tom. But before we do, I'm going to have Diana introduce herself.
Yes, one day I'll figure out how time zones work. Today is not that day. But my name is Diana Jebbia. I am a host, a journalist, obsessed with all things Bravo. You can follow me on Diana Jebbia, Gebbia, at TikTok and Instagram. And I'm so excited to talk about this because this has literally been taking over my whole life this weekend.
Yes, it has been taking over everyone's life. And I saw the best analogy of it. So I'm going to explain the analogy, because basically what we've had happened is cheating, a big cheating thing. Mm-hmm. And someone said the analogy of it is, imagine you watch Friends, because everyone watches Friends, right? Well, most people. No, I know. Most people. I saw your face. That's why I said most people.
Can it be
Watch
living?
Or
Friends.
living single, you know,
Single.
just
Or
whatever
living
one you want to
single.
be.
All right, I'm gonna go with Friends only because that was the reference used. But imagine Chandler and Monica are married, and then they get a divorce, and Chandler is perceived to be hooking up with Phoebe, but it turns out it was really Ross cheating on Rachel the whole time with Phoebe. That is the magnitude with which we are dealing with this Vanderpump Rule thing. That is what made us all go, oh, what do you mean, Raquel? And Tom, like, that was my reaction anyways. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't know. I didn't picture Tom cheating on, and I know it sounds crazy because I also think like most guys cheat, but they had such like a solid relationship. And like more than that, like they seemed like they had such a solid friendship behind that. Like I truly was shocked to find out. But and then with Raquel of all people, like
That's
so
my whole thing.
what is your opinions?
I was shocked at first. So when I first found out the whole thing, I was like, okay, it's no surprise Tom and Ariana broke up. They're kind of comfortable. He's done this with Dodie. But then when I found out it was Raquel, I was like, oh my God, she's not his type at all because Ariana's really intellectual. I mean, no offense to Raquel, but even Dodie, even though she was a little like, which I got, she still had like some spark there to her. And I feel like Raquel, as lovely and gorgeous as she has the personality of a fingernail. So I was very confused as to why Sandoval would go for her. And then the other thing that kind of like made me think about this, to go off of Nela's point before, yes, they all cheat on her, but what shocked me the most about this is Raquel and Ariana were really good friends, but then also Raquel hasn't really had her own storyline on the show. Like she's always been in James's shadow. So for her to come on this season and try and be like, okay, we cheat on everyone, it just doesn't seem authentic to me. So that's where we're kind of all getting fired up, because it just seems like fake, and maybe she's doing it for the camera, and then like Tom coming out of left field. So I think this is why this story holds so much weight compared to other cheating stories. And Nyemade, I think you hit the nail on the head with that Friends analogy.
I feel betrayed. Who's been personally victimized by Tom Sandoval? You know what I'm saying? Because the mustache was bad enough. Okay. You having to straighten your hair on camera, bad enough. You making us suffer through your band on this show was bad enough. But what made you likable, Sandoval, because you are very into yourself, was Queen Ariana. It made you likable. Before it was kind of like, oh, I kind of feel bad, but maybe like Kristen and him are kind of like meant for each other and blah, blah, blah. Then Ariana came and you were like, she's kind of cool. Like, I might want to like hang out with her like in real life, right? And then Raquel. And what is killing me is seeing the pictures of the lightning bolts. I can't stand it. I can't handle it. I think of anyone. You couldn't talk about a documentary. Imagine explaining Serial to Raquel. Could you? No, you know what? Let's make it easier. Let's try a Dateline and let's see if it sticks. Probably not. And so what is happening? I'm consumed, perplexed, and just, I can't.
He needs someone.
Honestly, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, that he cheated on Ariana with someone else. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. 1000%. Ariana did not
we don't
make
know
him
if
more likable.
We don't know if he didn't. I think he fell in
have you
love
always-
with Raquel.
Have you always
the
thought
thing
that Tom and Ariana, despite saying they didn't cheat, have you always thought they cheated?
Absolutely fucking 1000%. They absolutely cheated. Kristen was not wrong about that one at all.
Mhm.
And to Diana's point, we've only seen Raquel in an abusive relationship that she has had with James. We have not seen Raquel fully herself for whatever reason, because she was under his shadow. And we can see that James is very much a person that will tell their partner how to be, where to be, and how to just, exist in the world. And she, unfortunately, if we're going to talk about insecure people and give Katie that pass, Raquel is probably even more insecure for A, B, C, D, E reason, right? Let's just talk with her birth about how her mama gave her up for adoption to her aunt. That's a mindfuck, right? So the fact that proximity breeds like this, there was an opportunity there for them to, one, already be friends, two, like have fun with each other. And then three, the one that really kind of kicked me is when we heard the fact that she spent the night at Ariana and Tom's house and somehow he was going to go give her a glass of water at 4 a.m. But then Ariana bought that idea.
It makes me
Yeah,
think.
well, they said she was sleeping. They said she was sleeping. And by the way, can we also, whoever goes next, also mention your thoughts on how Ariana found out about it at the concert?
That's what breaks your heart.
Yeah.
Is to like, I'm not going to say she knew, but you know, as women, we tend to know when there's a distance. And excuse me. And I think we all knew something was up since BravoCon. Like, I don't know if anybody really believed that it was her kissing, like her and Schwartz. Like, that energy just wasn't towards Schwartz. It, like, again, I didn't watch the show, honestly, until like 6 o'clock this morning.
Yeah,
this
but
season.
we were there. That energy wasn't going towards Sandoval either, though. None. I didn't.
But that's why they were
think
able to
that
do
at
it
all.
for so long, because she wasn't showing it.
It was just weird to me.
I didn't think it.
At the panel, no. Like, and that's the thing. Like, the energy wasn't going towards Schwartz, though.
It wasn't going towards Schwartz, but it wasn't at Sandoval. I mean, like, not an idea.
But can guarantee she probably slobbed his knob that night in the Tom shirt. In the Tom shirt with the lightning bolt.
Oh, she probably got jizz on the Tom shirt.
Why? Because Raquel is a child and she's easy to manipulate, and she was close. That's why. My thing is, okay, I started watching Vanderpumprules last year, and I always had an unpopular opinion of liking Ariana, right? I was like, she reminds me of me. Sometimes I'll be too harsh on you hoes, but you know, I'm a fun time, but I'm gonna be real with you. But Rachel, when she joined, I was like, I hate her shrivel
Rachel
place. I can't stand it. And I was like, it's fake. It's all fake. She's a beauty queen. She hasn't grown up. She was depressed because she can't compete anymore. She's not grown up. She needs to work on herself. There's something diabolical about you if you can do this for so long to a friend and still hang out with them. I don't think it's cool. One of my best friends sent me a text. I was like, what? I woke up from a nap. I was like, what the hell? I just smoked weed 2 hours ago. What's happened? And then I asked my one friend who actually did the moss wall. My friend did the moss wall, right? And I was like, Katie, is this true? She was like, it is. And she straight up said, the moss wall is hers. Like, I'm team Katie or team Ariana. And I'm with that because they're children. Skinkaball is a child. They have matching necklaces. That's so high school. What kind of high school? I'm wearing his sweatshirt. And then when I saw the videos from BravoCon of him performing and how she was just looking at him like he was some high school dreamboat, that shit had me disgusted. Also, he looks 58 years old. Why does she love him so much? It's just so weird.
I think
that picture I saw, and I don't even watch Vanderpump, and I was like, because if I would have saw this, I would put pause on people then. Like,
yeah.
Like,
so can I just say
for Halloween? It was there.
Yeah. So this is what I think about when I think about the whole Raquel and Tom Sandoval. It makes me think of a movie. It's a movie called Predators, where you had all these big old military guys jumped into a jungle to fight the predator, and this random little dude was like, why the hell are you here? Then you find out who the fuck he is. Excuse me, this man is a surgeon and a scalpel, and he put poison on the scalpel to say, oh, I'm gonna leave you here so you can die. I'm like, yeah, that's who Raquel truly is, because she fooled everybody. That she seemed so, like Katie thought she was stupid. She fooled everybody, thinks she's so stupid. I'm like, no, this is exactly who Raquel exactly is. She's not that stupid. She's not
My
that
mother-
stupid. She has
That
been
part. Now, see,
been
she is
waiting
Yeah.
in the brush. It's like
She
this
My
is
is
one that I
mother
was
has
not-
always told me, if you are in a group of people and everybody is talking, look at the one
the
who's
person who's
listening,
not
because
like who's
that's
not
who you
talking.
got to protect yourself against, because it's
Mhm.
not the ones that are running their mouth. It's the ones that are
It's the one
taking
that's
it
listening.
all in.
Correct.
Listen,
And
when
I
she
will
sorry.
give
I'm the
herself
I'm the one your mama
believe
warned
that.
you about.
I give everybody
I'm
the
not gonna hold
benefit
you.
of the doubt, probably too much, as you guys can tell, but not her. I clocked her from the beginning, just like that. Heather over there in
Honey.
Salt Lake City. But
I was totally
clocked Raquel,
blindsided.
and I knew it was all an act, and that it was like this whole fake beauty, because she would slip. The thing is, when you're pretending to be someone else, you can't keep it going 24/7. There are going to be moments where your true character will show, where you'll slip up and say or do something. And she would have those moments where it was clear she's very intelligent and very intentional. So clock that. And I'm glad others see it now too.
I didn't. I'm not gonna front. I said it at the beginning. I was like, I'm in a group text with some friends, and at like I think episode 1, I was like, dang, I've got a soft spot for this Bambi-eyed bee. I did. That's exactly what I typed. And I realize now that I was played, because that's some calculating, pathological type of shit.
You know, I'm really excited for the rest of this season to play out, because stay with me here. I'm a huge horror movie fan. And when you rewatch the movie and you find out who did it, you start to pick up little tells and little clues. So I'm really excited to watch this season over and see, like, pick up all the tells of Raquel and Sandoval that we didn't pick up on before. Like, I am nerding out about this shit.
Well,
This is why I'm enjoying it right now, though. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm fresh to this. Like, I don't know. Like, I won't say I don't know shit, but like, thank you guys for giving me, background context, because I didn't
know shit.
Well, if you also think about it, there's been that one video that prompts that one question: did the producers know something and they're hiding it? And
the producers,
Oh,
like
like
the
Andy
producers
and,
probably
Heather's
knew.
black guy?
Was like, did know. And they were like, we're going to drop these Easter eggs, because maybe they're like, we can't get involved in your personal life, right? Like, we can't do that, right? What they're putting on camera is Tom and Schwartz as the smoke screen. That apology where he was like, Schwartz didn't know. Are you
No,
playing
Schwartz
in my
knew.
face? Are you trying to Robin Dixon me?
You are
you
so
trying to
full of
play
shit.
in my fucking face?
He's so full of shit. I know
Excuse my
Schwartz
Not Robin
knew.
Dixon
Sorry.
is the verb, though.
No,
Robin Dixon
like
is now
you're
a verb
lying.
when you trying to lie to my face. You trying to blatantly why
Yeah, you
Dixon?
trying to Robin Dixon me? I
You
love
trying
it.
to Dixon me?
Just the
Aw,
Dixon, right? 'Cause
daggone
it's
it.
both.
Dixon, right?
I do-
her
There it
lack of
is.
rhythm. I'm
I
sorry.
do have to
'Cause
add really quick though. If you are like Philly Diva, just getting into Vanderpump Rules, Cece Loves Us, who was on with us earlier but had to drop off. Fabulous page for getting caught up. She has really great content. She posts her opinions about stuff, but then we'll also post like clips and articles and things like that. So check out her page to get caught up on what is going on. I think she even has a hookup chart, which is very helpful.
Yes.
Spoilers,
Oh
they've
my
all hooked up with
goodness.
each other.
She got the
No,
diagram.
yes.
I love your account, but please stop praising Stassi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pretty please.
I love your
You
account.
gotta stop.
Please
Gotta
stop
stop.
praising Stassi. I love
Yeah.
her account. That's one thing.
Or praising Lauren from Utah. All these people also
Come on.
writing hard for
They
Lauren
are-
from Utah.
Come on,
Can
talk
we
about
get off of
it.
that
Talk
He
about
does
it.
so badly.
Because
Girl.
Here's the
where
thing.
is she coming off as some kind of lady of the manor that is offended by all of these people being
Okay.
so low when she licked a booty hole for a Range Rover?
She slept
That's
with
all I
someone's
need to know.
husband. She fucked James while he was in a relationship with Raquel. Ma'am, you're not going to sit here. Get off
Nope.
your chariot so I can throw some tomatoes at you. It's like,
And why
Tomatoes,
this is what
actually.
happens when this kind of
Tomatoes
stuff.
and cabbage.
Come on, that's the
Tomatoes
thing.
and
It's like,
I do
this is
enjoy
how
hearing
you
her
know.
drag Tom though.
Yeah, so this is my problem with the whole Lauren from Utah thing, and also White Kanye too. This is what happens when you fuck up so bad. People who have been problematic for years, all of a sudden, like, oh, let me alley-oop off for this. All of a sudden,
Why
here
are
comes
people
Jack
saying
being fucking
Jax was
Dennis
still the
Rodman.
best?
I was like, wait a minute. I know Jason Taylor is not hopping out from wherever rock he was under to come and say, see, I was right, y'all. Are you still talking? Shut up.
This is how bad it is.
Shut the
This
F
is
up
how bad it is.
forever.
You know what?
Forever.
I know we're still on one thing, but shout out to Sheena again. Listen, your support of this Schwartz thing, I'm watching it this season and I'm being like, honestly, get your lick back. But at the same time, I've always been team Shishi, but the fact that she put hands on Bambi,
I hope she did.
Found out.
I hope she really did.
That's not what
I said, like Carlos
Ken.
Allegedly.
And we don't, and I don't condone violence, even if the person might kind of deserve it.
I usually don't.
I'm annoyed with Sheena as I watch her with this Tom thing.
I'm
She's a
not
terrible friend.
happy it got physical, but I am happy that when she found out she didn't pull a Sheena on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I bet you if Sheena on the show would act more like Sheena in real life, we might actually like her.
She did like
that's
real
why
Sheena.
I like her.
I love Sheena. Okay.
So the funny thing is, I was talking to my friend because it was an emergency and everyone had it. It was like very emergency when JFK got assassinated. That's what I felt like. And like talked to my one friend, and I was like, she needs to get punched at least one time. That's what I said. And then hours later, my wish came true. And I don't usually condone violence, but I was like, she just needs it once, just so she can
just one little light slam.
The person who cheated, like in this case, okay, so
but we know
wait, first of all, she does still definitely deserve that smoke. I'm for not giving the smoke to the woman if the woman doesn't know, but if the woman knows and is your friend and is lying in your face all day, she deserves just as much smoke.
That's why she deserves to get slapped right in her face.
However, I do feel like she's getting a lot more of the smoke than Sandoval.
I think
when she gets beat up,
no, I feel like they're
Taylor
lighting
Braxton,
Sandoval
my
up.
man, should be playing in the background.
They're booing him at his thing. They're
lighting
scanning Ariana. He had to turn off his fucking comments. He's like, I got to step away from Schwartz and Sandy. That's only been open 10 business days. I got to walk away.
I think they've both been getting it, but she's been getting it longer because of Schwartz and how she's been desperate and putting out the distraction.
True. Very true.
So that's my other question for you guys. Do you think that she did do stuff with Schwartz too, like what we're seeing, or do you think B, that it was always a cover-up, which is a horrible cover-up if it was? Like, why would Schwartz go along with that? So like, what
because
it is?
That is my theory.
That
is my theory.
Okay, going back to the show where there was a very specific example. I forgot, they were in Vegas and somebody, I forgot if it was about Sheena or somebody, and they asked Schwartz, well, if they cheated, would you tell me? And he specifically said, if they cheated, I would cover for my boys. I would never tell the truth. I would write for them.
Exactly.
So I think that is exactly what happened. He kind of got wind of what was happening and deflected, because Schwartz doesn't give a fuck about Katie. Never did.
Sure doesn't.
Never will. So if her feelings got hurt protecting Sandoval, he's been doing that since the beginning.
Since day one.
So yeah, so I don't think that that Raquel like had anything real going on with him. Like that episode where they were at the club.
I don't think either Tom actually respects women like at all. Like
they don't.
On, like
they respect each other.
They do not see women as actual full human beings.
They don't.
I think I might be like, I think I might be the last one here to come around, but I still feel like she did something with Schwartz. I don't know. I just don't feel like there was any. I don't feel like there was anything to hide. For them to. Like,
no, I'm with you on that.
Right, because I didn't like nobody was suspecting Tom Sandoval and
if anything,
Raquel.
it would draw attention where there would need to be. And if Tom was moving on with Joe, why would anyone care? We care if you move on with
somebody that's on the show.
That's a big deal. So for me, since there was no smoke in any of the water at all, I do think it really happened. So then that makes me wonder how those two feel about being Eskimo brothers now, if they're not.
I feel like they're fine.
You saw that.
I feel like they're completely fine.
I have to make a whole.
I would not be shocked if they had a threesome. I'm
sorry.
Bye, Elle.
Bye, Elle. So that's actually my theory. So this is my theory, and again, my alleged theory alone, because I have never, well, not never, but I started watching this show recently, but have really no idea of the crux what's going on. I can just tell you what I think.
We love a
and my
baseless
views and
opinion. Give
opinion.
it to us.
I think that one day somebody was giving somebody some chewy. And somebody happened to walk in the back and see it. And then a young lady ran off. And then a conversation was had between bros. Said, bro, you won't have to take this L in public. Because I can't be the, like, we got too much going on. You're getting the divorce. I can't be cheat. Like, you know, I'm a leaver. It's been 8 years. She wants kids and I don't. This is not going anywhere. We're going to start this, you know, we just going to start this narrative. No, she wants kids. He don't want kids.
No, he wants kids. Does not want kids.
The other way around. Other way around.
Yeah.
I knew that it wasn't.
And you go Ariana for that and for standing true.
She don't like the guy going down on her, and she don't want no children.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is again my theory. I don't know nothing of this, and this is allegedly Philly Divas. Just
allegedly
on. Like allegedly.
We
So
like
allegedly, allegedly, after she got caught, you know, giving out some chewy, the bros had a conversation. They said, "Listen, you're going to take this L. This is how it's going down. We're going to get this restaurant open. We're going to play it for the cameras. In a year, nobody's going to say anything when I come out and start dating her. I'm going to break up with her before the end of the season." It still makes him a douche. I'm not saying it makes him any better. Sense,
but then I remember it's Tom's. So yeah, it would still actually.
Wait, okay. Did you see?
It wouldn't be a brilliant plan. It wouldn't
like a. Did you see Bravo and Botox's post about Sandoval? Because it was a read.
Yes, that was a read.
Yeah.
I actually almost. Bravo and Botox basically explains why Sandoval is the worst, has been the worst, will always be the worst, and how he's just
perfect
completely
sense.
Narcissist, like how this is all about him and he doesn't even care about what he's doing in the shorts. It's very, very good.
That thread also plays into my theory. Like,
yes, and that was the Bravo and Botox thread about Sandoval.
Yeah,
and why he's a problem.
Like, and it was and also his behavior on what was that, Winter House. You know, I said that, I'm like, yo, something seems off with Bull. Like, I like Schwartz, but something seems off with the Sandoval. Like, it just seemed weird. Like, just something seemed.
Wait, what did he do in Winter House? I didn't see him do anything.
His energy was just weird. No, his energy.
Aren't they supposed to be filming Winter House
weird
next week?
Overall, like, and I'm all for people doing what they want and whatever makes them happy. I really try not to judge other people's joy, but like, on a human level, like, it's weird, Tom, like, at his age, spending all that money for the cover band.
38.
Like, it's not even like he's bringing in money where you're like, okay, he's making money off of this. Like, you're literally paying to have crowds come and cheer you on.
As
like,
you do covers of other songs.
Covers of
instead of putting it into your bar.
And I
understand, gotta pay for that.
Dying.
Right, like, I understand the joy of wanting to perform, like you said, at your bar that you own. Like, there are ways to make smart decisions.
Your mama don't have another $250,000 to give you. So, sir, get your shit together.
But part of me really feels like, even when, as we've watched it, like, maybe it's not his mom, perhaps could be his stepdad, but I think that Sandoval is comfortable financially. And I'm going to say this why. He lived in a shitty apartment, but he was like, oh, I have a roommate with Schwartz. He never seems hard up for cash, and he never talks about money. And even when they did the thing for the restaurant, he did things that he said, but he's never been hard up for money. He has never given the energy that he has been. So I feel like
he paid for most of that
he tries to cover it.
Yeah,
he paid for half of James's engagement
from privilege. Yeah. He paid for that engagement wedding like it was nothing. I'm sorry, I don't think you're making that much money. And for someone to be this reckless and has been, I think that there is a cushion that Schwartz didn't have. I feel like Raquel was like, actually, no. And I think that plays into it a lot, because if you look back on the seasons, when does Sandoval ever talk about finances in a way that he doesn't?
Everybody else does.
That he
Good
never
point.
worry.
He never does that.
Point.
And
Yeah.
He's
I
probably
love
from
that.
a place of generational wealth.
Yeah.
Oh, he has
Privilege.
3 generations of wealth. Sandoval
like
has
he-
never been head up. He's never been harder for anything. Schwartz
Ever.
was the one who had to do a home equity, and he got denied. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, what
Damn.
the hell is happening here with y'all? So
But y'all are
Philly,
all in the
I
same
am around.
cast and like
Right,
working
y'all
and
all
not,
doing
you
these
don't
cookie
make
cutters.
that much money as a
Right.
bartender.
So Philly, I am with you on this because here's my thing. This is my theory about the whole Schwartz and Sandoval thing. I don't think they're Eskimo brothers at all. I think he has one. He's always known because he's covering for him. Because I thought about that in the episode where Sheena was talking about the fact that there was a rumor going on about Schwartz and her at Coachella, and Schwartz wasn't even there. And I'm like, wait a minute. The way Katie made it seem to sound like Sheena's podcast is the reason why this started. I'm like, no, apparently there was a rumor they were always hooking up. I'm like, yeah, y'all saw the wrong Tom. Why?
Exactly.
Tom Schwartz does not seem Coachella.
Right, and
Sandoval
imagine
does,
someone
though.
who's seen Vanderpump a few times, but isn't like a fan. But they saw it at Coachella, and they're like, "I
Correct.
saw Tom."
Some white guy with
Raquel.
brown hair.
Yeah.
Oh, Schwartz? Yeah, because they're not together anymore. I'm like, oh yeah, that one.
That's true. And you would just say Tom. Well, I have to say this has been such a good conversation. Like, I don't know, like there's something about just talking it out. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can talk back to your TV, which I do all the time. Yell at your phone, which I also do all the time. But like actually like sitting and talking with people about like just the madness just feels good. So thank you all so much for joining me this Sunday morning. I appreciate your time. I hope you're feeling a little lighter now that you've gotten it out.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone have any final closing words they want to say, anything they want to plug? The floor is yours.
Well, allegedly the Toms and James are all worth 4 million, but
Girl,
that's
allegedly. 4 million clams.
in Bitcoin.
I want to just say, Ariana, I'm sorry that this is happening. It's a really crappy situation. I do feel like it's just, despite the past or whatever, I think that when you get to a certain age where we are, like I'm 36, you have started to actually picture a life and a future with this person. Like you're making the plans. And I'm sorry that those plans have changed, but honestly, there's light on the other side, but you've got the sandwich
so much better,
shop.
Queen.
Do a soft opening because the girlies are going to buy a sandwich.
I cannot wait for their shop. It's called There's Something About Her. Or something about her.
She also has a line of DIY cocktails that you can order and bring home. So if you'd like to support Ariana, you can do it that way.
Yeah.
I'm still so mad that Tom hopped on her book because that cocktail book was her.
It would have been good.
I'm still mad about that.
I'm still upset about that.
There's
Even
a
more
burn
so
book
now.
out there of that cocktail book. You'll see.
Bird
You'll
book.
see. Yes.
Oh, Burn. I thought you said bird. I'm like,
no, burn book like Mean Girls.
Oh, I saw it. I thought,
my last little thing before we go, and I love everybody here so much. I'm like everybody's biggest fan here. Like, I love you guys. But I just want to kind of pipe in because of the reactions fans and Bravo accounts are having. Like, Bravo accounts, very particular accounts, are taking this personally.
Yeah.
Like, personally. Like, I've left some comments on some people and they're like, why are you being like this? And I'm like, it's a fucking telenovela. This is like such a telenovela. Like, I can't even stand it. And that's how I am enjoying it right now. People are, but these are real people with real feelings. Nope, real people will real feelings. I want to take care of those feelings. Will leave this to take care of themselves. So until they do that, I'm not writing for anybody, and I'm saying what I'm going to say, and I'm not going to give a fuck about nobody's feelings. It's like the minute you step away to take care of yourself, that's one thing. But I really want to put it out to Bravo accounts. It's not that serious. It's not that deep. These people don't sign your checks. These people don't pay your bills. Do not ride for motherfuckers that would not even look at you on the street. And then we can all have fun.
You know what? I had to tell myself that though too, because like, while I won't go out of my way to be mean about anybody, I would like defend my people. Like, so if like I was in the comment section, someone was talking something about someone that I like if I had the time that day, you were going to get my opinion on it respectfully. But now I'm like, wait, why am I spending my precious time, even if I've got the time? Why am I spending my time on this person who's never going to see it, who doesn't care? Also, why am I letting like I've done so much self-work about not letting other people's opinions about me matter to me and not giving a damn. And it's so funny because as much self-work as I did for it not mattering to me about me, it still will matter to me about a random stranger. I'm like, if I wouldn't get upset about them saying that about me, why am I getting upset about them saying that about some person on a TV show? So I realized I need to push out my work and do my work on caring about other people as well and letting that stuff ride. Like, unless you are directly family, like I am not spending my time defending you because why, So I think people need to also work on that.
Yeah. And we all know that Andy is just Birdman rubbing his hands right now with all this Bravo news.
Lisa Vanderpump will be there on Watch What Happens Live on Wednesday. I was like, yeah, you're so ready for this. Let me tell you something, Nanny Vanderpump. I need you not to be milquetoast on this because you did it with the whole Stassi and Kristen firing. You're like, well, it really wasn't our decision. It was really like, girl, Lisa, shut up. They are attached to you. It is called Vanderpump Rules, baby. These are your children. They are your rules, ho. These are your Vanderpumps. These 3 pump chumps that you are associated with. They belong with you. So I agree with Nyemade when it comes to your faves. Here's the thing. I'm a contract worker in the Dixon district. I sit here and just go, no, y'all got a point. Because when my fave fuck up, I'm like, no, y'all got a point. Because let me tell you something. I had to take a leave of absence because Robin was out here embarrassing me. I'm like, you know what? I had to go. I'm like, you know what? This is time for vacation. PTO, bitch. I got to go. I got to go. But then I see other people who go really hard for the Stassies and the Ashley Darbys and the Mias, and you see it and you're just like, wait a minute, why do I feel bad about that fave when you like bigging up forehead?
Exactly.
I'm fucking lying to me. I'm like, oh, girl, I don't care. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I am a contract worker in the Dixon district. You big up forehead. You cannot sit with me. You cannot sit at my table. You cannot sit with us.
Ain't no room.
That is such a good final word, except that you can sit with us. Because I love talking to people and I love talking, if you love Bravo and you're addicted to Bravo, send me a message. You can get on one of these. My main episodes. The show is called Bold, Black, and Addicted to Bravo. And we talk about life stuff, but through the lens of Bravos. Like I mentioned earlier, we talked about Black and Bougie. We did a case of the ex. Recently, we had no more bubble baths because we're sick of it, but it was a good conversation about intimacy on the Housewives shows. And then in between that, we have bonus cookout episodes where we get a group together, like this group, and we talk about the whole season of what just happened. So Potomac is recording tonight. So sometime this week, hopefully some of these people will join me for a recap about Potomac, and we will dish all about that. Even though this live has been kind of fun, so maybe we'll do another live. We'll see. We'll see. All right.
Oh my gosh, I just realized after all this Vanderpump that we still have freaking Potomac tonight. I'm just
blessed. Bravo blessed is what you are.
Bravo blessed. Tomorrow, bless us. We're gonna have a good week.
We are.
And escaping SWV.
Yes, and escaping
SWV
tonight.
My God, starts tonight too.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That's